Good evening, everyone. Economic Ninja here. I have a sad story to share with you right now, and I want to bring it to sort of like a timestamp because when we were talking about all of the fires and the explosions that were happening in food processing plants last year, never thought when I started talking about the first one or two that it would become a trend. And now we see a massive, massive explosion and fire that has killed nearly 20,000 dairy cattle. I'm going to share the screen. We're going to go over the story first, and then I have video to share with you. And this is right here. Explosion at Texas dairy farm kills nearly 20,000 cattle, critically injures one person. An explosion at a dairy farm has left one person critically injured and caused a fire that killed an estimated 18,000 cattle. Reports say the Castro County Sheriff's Office says in a news release that a female worker at South Fork Dairy Farms was trapped inside a building after the explosion and fire Monday. Firefighters were able to rescue the woman, who was flown to UMC Hospital in Lubbock. The woman was in critical condition. The cattle were in a holding area before being brought in for milking when the fire occurred. Very few cows in the holding area survived the fire. The Animal Welfare Institute says that if the death estimate is correct, the fire is the deadliest involving cattle since the agency began tracking barn fires in 2013. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Now, take a look at this. This is the facility right here before the fire. You want to say insanely big? I got to be honest with you. I have never been around a facility this large in my life. And to think about how fast a fire can move through a structure like this, being a firefighter myself, I understand how fast it can move, especially in Texas, where the timbers in these structures and the way that it's built are old, dried out. It's just literally a disaster waiting to happen. But it's very interesting how something could spread this fast and kill this many cattle. Now, I'm what's interesting is the videos, and this is the one video. I mean, you look at just the length, and I don't want to take up your time, but you literally the camera is still panning to say that 20,000 cattle could fit under one structure. If you would have asked me this before, I would have said there's no way until I saw this. Absolutely mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing how big this structure is. Now, to go to the video of the explosion, check this out. Here's a picture from the distance of how big it was. This is from the Gateway Pundit. Sorry, totally messed that one up. Go back here. Massive fire and explosion, but then check this out. There is one that I wanted to show you here. Now, there's no, as far as I can find so far, nothing really close up during the day. There's only the nighttime shots of the fire, of the disaster area, but nothing daytime yet. But to think that we just lost that many milk producing cows. Now, the question is, are we going to see more of these in the future? And that's what concerns me. Here's picture. Now, this is what's very alarming to me. As this fire ripped through, I would be so curious to find out what that roof structure is because to see it not completely fallen down after a fire like that. And I'll give you an example. Inside this, there's a lot of heat being trapped, right? And it needs to blow through. The roof structure should not be that heavy. So you would think that the trusses would fail, that the material, whether I'm assuming it being metal, would completely shrink, fall down to the ground. For it to hold its structure after that size of a fire, unless it had sprinklers, I can't imagine it staying like this. So the explosion didn't really knock out much of the structure. And I'm shocked that the fire didn't bring this structure to the ground. So it's weird. I've never seen, and for any of the firefighters in the watching this video, please chime in and let me know what you think about this. There should be no reason why this structure should be still standing after a fire cooked off through the entire structure. Because the only place the heat's escaping is the front and the sides on this structure. Usually it self vents in the hottest points of the structure, being the roof, because the higher in elevation in the structure, the hotter it is as the smoke and gases are trying to escape. I've never ever seen anything like this. So I don't want to speak too much about it because you just don't know what's going on, honestly. But when you're looking at a smoke plume that dark, that hot, that's hot, hot. The hotter the smoke, the darker the smoke, the more unburned particles of combustion, unburned fuel are in that. It's a super hot fire. And to see something like that still, the structure still be intact, quite honestly, is surprising to me. So I'd love to hear what the other firefighters have to say about this. But yeah, here's the structure before, and you just saw it after. Blows my mind. Guys, I hope you got something out of this. My prayers go out to the person that is critically injured and their family. Um, I hope we don't see any more of these. I hope this isn't a chain reaction of things to come. That being said, the Economic Ninja is out.